Shalom. First of all, praise, honor, and glory
unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar
the brothers to the apostles and elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are learning truth and sincerity, the women, the children, and the confusion of faith who follow. So as you can see, this lesson is entitled America the Dream, but Babylon the Nightmare. Really working on the parallel between how the outside world and really the inside of America as well look at, America, which is really Babylon, because that's the dream. What is a dream? A dream is something that you desire. When you're in a dream state, it's like almost like a fantasy. And that's what a lot of people are living. They're living in a fantasy world here in America, but they don't understand that it's really Babylon, Babal, meaning confusion. All right, people are confused about what's really going on in this place, and as far as we're concerned, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and really truly the elect thereof, we're living that Babylonian nightmare. So with that being said, Lord's will, this is an edifying video, and we're gonna get to the first precept.
This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. It says, "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah."
Right. Babylon, America, is known as the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Why? Because it has it has power and influence over the whole world. That's why when you read in Revelation 18, it said that the merchants were basically crying because of the destruction of Babylon. Why? Because they were getting rich off of Babylon. All right? Babylon has that influence over everyone. And here in particularly, they call this the so-called land of opportunity. You can come here and you can prosper. You have thousands upon thousands of foreigners that come here. They'll get put up, they'll get housing. They give them $1,000 in food stamps. They give them everything that they need in order to survive, thrive, and then rise up. Which that would be considered a quote land of opportunity. But for the people here, mainly the Israelites, this is not an opportunity. It's a bad opportunity. Because of systematic doctrines. We were put in lesser quarters. We're in ghettos. We're in the hood, to put it plain. And our school systems are dramatically worse than when you go to the suburban areas. Crime is up. They know how to put us in a situation that we're not going to be able to prosper. They don't teach us about credit. They don't teach us about the things that we really need in order to recognize that dream. Now, definitely part of that is we are under curses. We do realize that we weren't put here, to prosper. All right, America is ultimately a punishment for us, serving other gods, for us going off. Did you have something, brother?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I did want to get this real quick. If you could read this Bible Shana, brother. It's right here. From here, and then read that. It's lucky.
So it says, what does sweet land of liberty mean?
Coming from the song, America the Beautiful. My country, 'tis a sweet land of liberty.
And it says, I've always understood the boast that America is a sweet land of liberty to mean that we Americans, each of us individually, value our personal space and will tolerate no interference with our individual choices by anyone.
Right. So we value our personal space and won't tolerate interference with anyone basically messing with our individual choices. Now, what's going on right now? We have a whole pandemic, all right, where you don't have a choice. A lot of people don't have choices. All right, right now, it's mandating that they, get that validation. All right, people are losing their jobs by the thousands. If you work in nursing homes, if you work with old people, you have to be validated. If you are working at these stadiums, these big venues, you have to be validated. If you even these people who are quote living that American dream, if you want to keep living that dream, guess what? You got to be validated. Look at the NBA, look at the NFL, look at the Major League Baseball. All right, and not even just the actual players, people that are working around. You could be in the office. You got to be validated. All right, they say shit rolls downhill. Okay, so it started at people who are in these certain fields where they're coming in contact with sick people, or coming in contact with older people, or they're traveling around like the professional sports people. But it's going to roll downhill until the everyday Joes and Smos. What did they do? By just pass the law with if your job has 100 or more people, then everyone has to be validated or have to show a negative test every week. Those choices that people once had are going to be taken away from them. So how can you be called the land of the free when no one's going to be free? You have a whole agenda to put that grain of rice into everyone. And what is that? That's not freedom. That's total control.
So the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right, man. They are the ones who are dictating this. They're the ones who are making it an unlevel playing field.
To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Man, we already down bad, and you forwarding the affliction. You adding them to our bonds.
And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave for glory?
Right. Who you gonna run to? We know that we put our trust in our power, our Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But what are these people? They run to go down to Egypt. Can I get that definition for Stockholm Syndrome, brother?
Gotcha, man. It says Stockholm Syndrome is an emotional response. It happens to some abused and hostage victims when they have positive feelings toward an abuser or captor.
Right. So we were brought here. We were brought here on cargo slave ships. You had the natives and the Latinos that were already here, who were persecuted. We were persecuted. We had to serve slavery. There was a show, American Gods, and they had Orlando Jones. I know the elder in Chicago was talking about it. I checked it out myself, and it was a really powerful scene. And he was like, they were on a slave ship, and he was talking to the people. He was like, y'all about to come to serve slavery. And he was like, 100 years, you're fucked. 100 years from then, you're still fucked. 100 years after that, you're still fucked. And then 100 years after that, you're still getting beat down in the streets, getting killed by cops, and this is our fate. But our people don't remember this. Our people don't recognize, who we are really dealing with. These are the same people. The same people who brought you from over there to come over here so that they can get rich off of your labor. All right, the ones who slaughtered the natives, the ones who, slaughtered the Latinos as well. That history is don't even get talked about. but they're in love with their captors. They're in love with the dream that they sold them. It's almost like a pimp talking to a prostitute. The way that Esau has, beguiled our people to believe that, that they can really be something or be somebody. And really, the scratch that we do get thrown, our people think that, this is life. This ain't life, man. A fresh pair of J's and a nice set of rims that just put you in debt. Man.
I just saw on the highways yesterday, concerning Second Peter, the second chapter, where it says, "Why they promise them liberty, yet they themselves are serving some corruption." And that's exactly what they is. When our people come over here from different lands, what do they promise them? They promise them prosperity. All these goodly things. But here it is. It's all a trap, man. Really, and that's why Wycliffe said he thought that America was paved, the streets were paved with gold, right? You came over here all to find out that this is oppression, and that's it's no different from the lower level jakes who not in the entertainment world. They think that they're going to come here and prosper, man. That's not so. We're not to prosper in this kingdom, right? I just want to bring that in because it says that for whom a man is overcome, the same as he brought into bondage.
I got a precept based off of the Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay.
Jeremiah 2:14, it says, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Dealing with the fact now, of course, we're not. Technically we are now, but for the most part, we're the children of the Heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we're spoiled and in this position we're in is based off of what we've done against the Heavenly Father. All right. Outside of that, you have most of our people who are completely fine with being in America and being content with a fucking 16-piece special from Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? And Friday night, Saturday night at the club, they content with that. That is life to them. The fact that they go to work at whatever job they're at and whatever hours they have to work, and they get their check and they spend their check and they do the same thing the next week. They're content with that. So we're in this constant whirlwind of hope, I would say, or really contentment, because most of our people don't really want to do nothing. They just content with just working a 9 to 5 and getting whatever they get. You know what I'm saying? Some of our people got a little bit more ambition and determination than others, so they get out there and, find some entrepreneurship or something like that. Some way, now you kind of got it a little bit more. A lot of people are hustling more, but you have to because prices of food and living is going up. So you almost need a second job or another hustle or some type of thing in order to make ends meet, all right? But nonetheless, our people are content with doing this. We're doing what we gotta do until the Lord, while we're doing what we gotta do while we're praying the Lord bring the downfall to this place. All right? Like it says, he that buildeth as if he will not dwell therein. All right? He that selleth, don't go to the one that's, what did it say? Let's get there right quick. What is that? Man, second
16.
16?
Yeah.
It's like way at the end, huh?
Like 40 something.
Let's see. Yep, this is second Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start from 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
He that selleth."
Yeah, that's the mindset right now, to be as pilgrims, as be like a nomad almost. You're not really going to be setting up shop, so to speak. All right?
It says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein."
Yeah, so that's the mindset we are to be in. Not looking forward to this place lasting, not talking about 5 years and 10 years. No, every day praying that the Lord deliver us. Every day the Lord brings judgment to this place, that the downfall of this place come, you know. It's also part of being patient, okay? Like it says, a race is not given to the swift. Like at the end of this race is the salvation of Yasharala and the destruction of America. But just because you run real fast and think you can get to the finish line before it's time, you're just going to tire yourself out. Yeah. So you got to have that patience and pace yourself and just deal until we are officially redeemed out of here, man. It's right around the corner. Yeah. You know, it's like I said, our salvation are nearer than when we believe. Yeah. Okay, because the Lord, look at all the times he just snapped his fingers for the most part and just switched, you know, the vibe of things. I forget, was that 2020 it started out? And, well, really, yeah, 2020, that's when they killed the Iranian dude. And then a couple months later, that's when, you know, this pandemic started really flourishing. Then they did they shutdowns and lockdowns, and you had riots throughout the summer, or protests throughout the summer, you know, and then it's been a constant, oh, I'm looking for normal, I want to go back to normal, for a year pretty much. Yeah. You know, the cases going up, cases going down, deaths going up, deaths going down. It's getting better, it's getting worse. It's, you know, back and forth. Now we're coming into that flu season. So your head really should be on swivel because, of course, people are going to get sick, especially with the weather being 85 degrees one day and then 65 the next day. All right, it's just like when you're going out of town and you tend to get sick and not feel real good. That weather switch up, man.
I mean, it goes on.
Let's get the Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened."
Right. So, speaking about, you know, the times that we are rapidly approaching, you know, when there are a few jobs out here, when it's really looking bad out here, that's when it's really going to hit home to people. They said they that look out the window be darkened. You know, what were they looking at? They were looking at that beautiful dream that they were sold, that fantasy land. Yeah. That they could, you know, that there's a common thought that America is never going to fall. That it's always going to be, like it says, the beauty of the Chinese excellency. But what it also would say in that scripture, it's going to be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. And that time is rapidly approaching. Right?
Did y'all start at 1 right there?
No, we went straight to 3.
Okay,
yeah, so I mean, that way of thinking that America is always going to go on, that you're always going to be able to come up in this place, man. Esau, he got a cake baked for you, man. He has bondage waiting for you. He's already trying to kill everyone off. We know what the Georgia Guidestones say. What? To live or to bring humanity perpetually with nature under what, 500 million? 500 million on the planet. We're talking about 8 billion people on the planet right now. So how would he have to do that? That means there has to be a lot of death. Yeah. That doesn't sound like, you know, a fantasy or a dream that I want. It sounds like a nightmare scenario that's playing out right now. You know, and who is he trying to push his agenda on? They said, well, we need to get the blacks and the Latinos and the Native Americans validated first. They know who we are. Or you don't know who you are. If you're watching the video, Lord willing, you know who you are. But Jake and the general, you know, do they even care? You know, they black, or they want to be Egyptian, or, you know, they call by anything except for a child of God. Or they call themselves a child of God and don't want to recognize that they really are, you know, Yahshua, the Prince of the Power, child of God.
That's that God they don't even consider, man. What was it today? Ecclesiastes.
I'm gonna go back up to 1 right quick.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes 12:1, it says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So before all of these things is happening, you're supposed to be seeking the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Remembering his ways, trying to follow after his ways. Before the little pleasure that you have or you go through or you experience, you know what I'm saying, you no longer have pleasure in those things, all right? Because the closer we get to the end of this, the harder it's going to get. All right, so if you know the Lord, then you got to do more. All right, if you don't know the Lord, you got to do more to pay attention and stay attentive to what's going on in serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because when those doors shut, those mercy doors shut, and the grace windows is closed, then it ain't, hey, it's just going to be, prophecy from downhill. All right, just one thing after another, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's going to be day to day, but the times are speeding up. That's why prophecy is manifesting in the fashion that it's doing, man. So seek the Lord before it's too late, all right? But Job, all right. This is Job chapter 10, verse 21. It says, "Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness."
Man, I mean, that's America in a nutshell. Like you were speaking with the brothers earlier, a shadow follows you, and that chance of death follows us everywhere we go. From all the unrighteousness that happens in this place, the laws, the mandates, homosexuality, just the police, you can't catch a breath in this place, man. You can't catch a break. And can you read that last part one more time for me, verse 22?
It says, "Without any order, and where the light is as darkness."
Right, where the light is as darkness, man. It's because, even take the police for example. There should be a light. There should be a help to you. You should be able to call the police and have confidence that they're going to come and help you out of a situation. That's what they're for. But personally, I've been harassed more by the police than they've ever helped me. I've been pulled over for nothing. Driving while black.
This is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness."
Right. So that's the so-called white man in a nutshell. You can't trust him. And really, that's this place in a nutshell. We are in the land of our enemies, the land of our captors. So you can't put your trust in this place.
Because like you said with the police officers, that's supposed to be a force, a beacon that we are supposed to be able to trust. And some of our people ignorantly do trust them. Not even just the police officers with the mandates, with these vaccines coming to our people first. It's like, oh, look, they finally doing something for us when they have an agenda behind it. Everything in this place, everything is backhanded. If Esau gives Jake something, there's an ulterior motive behind it. Okay. I can't think of a time in history that Esau has done something for Jake out of the pure kindness of his heart. There's always something behind it. There's always, an ulterior motive.
Well, I gave you a stimulus check, didn't I? Well, yeah, you did that so you can crash the dollar so that you can then put a chip in me.
Exactly. And even like once that chip comes, it's going to be like, oh, this is new technology. This is the brand new thing that's being distributed to everybody. It's probably going to come for free too. And that's the crazy part, because while it may seem like this is a great new thing that's being offered, behind it all, what happens if you get the check? You know, that's judgment from. Good.
No, ultimately, that goes back to the book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter, where it says, "They trust in oppression and perverseness and stay their own, that breach shall fall on." So, hey, and also goes into what we went into yesterday. That's why we're not worried about the wicked, the wicked of our people, because you know better. But the Most High set the prophets up all over the world to tell you what's going on, and you choose to do that. Hey, then ultimately that's going to be on you. You chose another covering, so hey, you got to deal with it. All right. You want the right now, bro?
Okay.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction."
Now, it's not saying to get up and leave out of Babylon, to catch a flight, you know what I'm saying, and go to the various different places around the world. What he's speaking about is mentally, spiritually, depart away from Babylon, man. You got to detach from this place. You can't have a short peace in this place. You have to have a kingdom mindset. You always have to be understanding and knowing that this place ain't no good for you. Like the brother said earlier, you got to lay your treasures in heaven. Because if your treasures are in Babylon, there where your heart follows. You're going to catch the same destruction as Babylon. You're going to be aligned in that same judgment. I'd rather be aligned in the judgment with the men of the Lord. All right, like-minded individuals. If you're like-minded in the world, go be with the world and get the destruction that's coming upon the world. You got a precept.
I'm just looking for a precept that says, live in this world, but don't be of the world. Yeah. It's all good though.
Right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 59, verse 8. And it says, "But thou, O Yahweh, shalt laugh at them. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision."
Right, we're going to get the Most High, should I say, is going to get the last laugh. All right, he said that the heathen are going to be in derision. Let's get this word derision. Bubble, shut up. 59 and 8.
So to the Hebrew word la'aig, it says to mock, deride, ridicule, have in derision, to stammer, to mock or deride. Or you want the etymology on it?
Yeah, get the etymology. A couple other, it says to have in derision, to laugh, to scorn, and to mock. So,
You already. Are you
no, go ahead.
I mean, you brought the definition out.
I was at the same place you was at.
Okay, it says ridicule, mockery, subjection to ridicule or mockery, a laughing to scorn.
Right, so the Most High, he said the Most High shall laugh at them. All right, he's going to scorn them. So when they are in their dire straits, who are they going to be looking for? They're going to be looking for the Most High to save them. But he's going to be laughing at you. He's really going to be mocking and scorning. Okay? They're going to be, it's almost going to be like a role reversal. Because when we go out and we do the work, and we're on the corner, we're preaching and we're teaching, you have a lot of people that ride by, and they might snicker or laugh or, do a little whatever it is they want to do. But that role is going to be reversed. All right, the Most High said that He will take care of His men. All right, He said that you should eat, you should drink, but they gonna hunger and thirst. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, when they're in those dire situations and they're calling on the Most High, He's gonna laugh at you the same way He was laughing at His men. Go ahead.
This is back in Psalms 59, in verse 9. It says, "Because of His strength will I wait upon thee, for the Most High is my defense."
Right, the Most High is our defense, man. His name is a strong tower, and the wise will run up in it, okay, and are safe. All right, this is where our works, this is where our faith is put in. All right, we know that there is no plan B. We know that there's no escape route. There's no other way to avoid this. All right, you're either going to be destroyed or you're going to get salvation. All right, so what do you really want at the end of the day? What is your goal? The goal is to get out of here. So in order to get out of here, you need to be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments to your best abilities. All right, becoming a man of the Lord, showing your charity, giving alms, paying tithes, helping a brother out, bringing brothers up, breaking bread, giving all diligence to make your calling and election sure.
It says, the power of my mercy shall prevent me. The Most High Yahweh shall let me see my desire upon mine enemies.
Right, and we want to see this man fall. There'd be nothing more precious or beautiful to us to see the fall of our enemies. We've gone through this. We've been ridiculed. We've me personally, like, I do call center work, so I'm on the phone. I'm getting cussed out by people you know damn well wouldn't speak to you like this in person. We know how these people are proudful, or I said proudful. They're proud and they're prideful. So when we get to see that destruction, man, it's gonna be a beautiful sight to us.
It says, slay them not, lest my people forget. Scatter them by thy power, and bring them down, O Yahweh, our shield.
Right, man, to bring them down. That's what we ultimately want to see. The Lord's will that we are part of that.
It says, for the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cursing and lying which they speak.
Right, it says the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips. Like when you go get when you go to court, the laws are swayed so much towards Jake. Their sentences are unjust. Being persecuted, just going through it on the daily, man. It's like an attack. We live in America, and we're under siege in America as citizens. But everybody thinks it's just rainbows and lollipops. They really think that this is a place that like it's a utopia. Like America is perfect. Man, it's one place that's gonna be perfect, and that's the kingdom.
So verse 13 says, consume them in wrath, consume them that they may not be, and let them know that Yahweh ruleth in Jacob unto the ends of the earth. Salah.
Right, he ruleth in Jacob. You gotta be Jacob. If you're not part of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, or the confusion of faith, you're gonna be consumed. Okay, consumed in what? That fire. All right, thermonuclear destruction coming from the four winds of the earth is coming to this place in a surety. Okay, to cleanse this place. All right, of all the filth, the perverseness, all the damnable heresies that are being committed in this land, and his righteousness is going to be saved out of it. All right, so that's when we're going to wake up into our dream scenario, our fantasy. All right, which is not a fantasy, it's just a far off right now. And that's when we're going to be in the kingdom. All right, and they're going to be living in that nightmare. They say the white man's heaven is the black man's hell. All right, and that's what we're living right now. We are living in a white man's heaven, which is our hell. But guess what? The tables are about to be turned, and we're going to be living in our heaven, and they're going to be living in their hell. So anybody else got anything they want to say, bring out? So, with that being said, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Double honors to the apostles of this GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are there in truth and sincerity, the women and children, and the confusion of faith who follow. Shalom.
Shalom.